Yo, I've been getting plenty of comments asking how to modify a keyboard or a tutorial on what I do exactly to my keyboards to make it sound the way it sounds. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna modify the Koi61 in black, which is actually already launched on Amazon today, link in bio. But before we get into modding, I want to say that there are a lot of different ways to modify your keyboard. There is no designated right way or wrong way. Really, it's all preference to the point of what your goal is or what sound profile you're really aiming for. So this is just my way of modifying budget keyboards. Anyways, let's get to modding. All right, first thing we want to do is unplug our current keyboard and let's plug in the Koi61. The RGB is bright. Hold on, let's turn off the, here we go. A better look at the RGB. Very nice. Let's try it out and listen to the sound with its current sound profile. Let's try this out. So the sound's not too bad. It's stock with pre-loop stabilizers, and with the stock sounds, you know, the stabilizers aren't too bad, but of course there's always room for modifications. And that's what this video is about, so. With these budget boards, the best thing to do, especially in the beginning, is to take it apart and then see exactly what we're dealing with. And again, there is more than one way to modify a keyboard, but the best way is to not be afraid and just take it apart. That being said, keycaps off first. This all-in-one tool is the Koi switch puller and keycap puller. So this is the keycap side, this right here is the keycap side, this right here is the switch side, and it's a very helpful tool that actually comes with the Koi61. Has pre-loop stabilizers and is very affordable. It is the best 60% hot swappable keyboard on the market right now. MSRP retail price at $47.99 on Amazon, and if you have Amazon Prime, shipping is free, 2-day shipping. So we have all the keycaps out, Otemu reds all across. If you can see closely, it's pre-lubed over here. So it didn't really have that scratchy noise when we were pressing the stabilizers. However, we did have that hollow sound, the hollow and kind of the ping rattly noise when we were typing fairly fast. So doing today's mods will definitely dampen that noise, or in fact you won't even hear it at all anymore. Yeah, so let's take out the switches right now. You can use the switch puller that it comes with. However, I do find myself getting tired prying the switches one by one. The tool I'll be using is the Gateron switch puller version 2 that can be found on Prevail Key. This type of switch puller is nice because all I literally have to do is just push down. Well, line it up first, right? Push down and then pull it up. Ta-da! It pries out and boom. And I just have to do that 61 times to get all the switches out. All right, there we go. So now the PCB is exposed. You can see that it has the RGB lights on the top, 5-pin hot swappable, north-facing switches, and plate-mounted pre-loop stabilizers. Before we start taking it apart, I want to focus on the stabilizers. Let's get my loop station ready. Ew, your loop station looks gross. Yeah, well, it's been through a lot, okay? Let's take out the stabilizers, and to do so, there's these little tabs on the stabilizers, the plate-mounted, where we just push down on the top, and then we just lightly pull it down. So I push down on the tab on the top and then pull it down again, and they should just prop out like that. Ta-da! So here we have the stabilizer. So to take it apart, it's clamped at the side of the stabilizer. All you really have to do is just bring it out like that. Ta-da! So you can see the lube, and then this stem right here, this middle stem, props right out from the bottom. And there we go. Housing, stem, wire. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean the stabilizers, we're gonna clean the lube off, and then we're gonna clip the bottom feet of the stem and then reassemble everything back. All right, so we're gonna clean off the lube on the wire. Before we clip the feet of the stem, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that the wire is balanced. And to do so, all you have to do is just put it on a flat surface like that. Hold one side down and just tap the other side. If there is space underneath this side and it's making a fairly loud sound, it's not balanced. So as you can tell, it's pretty balanced on this side. And then let's try the other side. It's pretty balanced too. Flip it over, make sure it is universal. Oh, uh-oh. So that's the sound I'm talking about. So we can tell that this side, when we flip it over, is not balanced. What about the other side? Oh yeah. I can't find my other pliers, so what I'm gonna do is I'll clamp it on this side and then try to balance it with this empty pen. When I say empty, I took out the lead. So we'll insert it there, and we'll just bend it slightly until it is balanced. All right, so let's try that. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, so that was actually an easy fix. Wasn't too bad. So let's continue with the stabilizers. So there are 4 little prongs on the bottom of the stem, and the ones that you want to clip are these 2 diagonal from each other. So this one right here, and this one on the top left. So how I'm gonna do it is I get a pair of flush cutters. It can be scissors, but I am a little fancy here. I have the little fancy tool, and I'm gonna clip the bottom feet, these 2 bottom feet of the stem, just like that. Then I'll clip the other side, just like that. And if you do it right, it looks like this. So we balanced the wire is ready to be used. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the housing, which is on my left hand, and then I'm going to get the remaining lube that's kind of just seeping there. And I'm going to lube the inside of the housing. Just a thin layer on each side inside the housing. Boom, done. I'm going to get the stem. So on the sides of the stem, and inside of the bottom hole. Just like that. And how I'm gonna assemble this, you get the stem, and the side with the 2 holes, which is this side, is going in the front. So you just assemble it back just like that. You can see the bottom hole, and that's where the wire goes through. Now the wire, so you get your lube, Krytox 205 grade 0, you get a generous amount, and then you see the wire, you apply that generous amount of lube on that wire. And if you notice, I'm going a little over the edge or the corner, and I just coat that corner and the wire completely, just like that. And then again on the other side, do the same thing. So our wire corners are lubed. We get the stabilizer, and then we insert it on the bottom hole first, right? Push it down, and then we clip it in. Just like that. The bottom hole, we clip it in, just like that. And there we have it, the clipped and lubed stabilizers. I took the liberty to do it all off camera, just to save time. All right, so we have our keyboard, missing the stabilizers on the plate. And if you guys want to do a little more extra for your stabilizers, just to avoid more rattle, you can band-aid mod it. It's just that you have to have the flexible fabric material for this band-aid, otherwise it will not work. And you just basically cut it into strips, sticking it on to the PCB like that. And then you just put your stabilizer back in. Just like that. Ta-da! All stabilizers are now installed. Let's take it apart now. All stabilizers are now installed. Clipped, lubed, band-aid modded. There's 6 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 on top, 3 on the bottom. Get your screwdriver. It helps to have a magnetic bowl so you don't lose the screws. All right, magic. The plate just comes out. You can see all of our little band-aid mods. Let's just flatten it out. This is what we're gonna mod. We're gonna mod the PCB, so we'll take out the PCB, and we'll find out that the tray mount has bottom foam. Yay! So let's put the bottom case on the side as well. First thing I do, I flip it on its back. Boom. Painter's tape. What we're gonna do is probably 2 or 3 layers to completely tape mod it. What I do is I pick it up like so, and I just trim off the edges. The only thing left to do is to punch holes again for the tray mounts. So there were 6 screws, 3 on top, 3 on the bottom, and it's these big holes that kind of just stand out there. So what I initially do with the sharp tweezers is I hold it up to the light, and I kind of just, I mean, if you angle it correctly, you can just punch through it like so, like that. There we go. So that's 1 hole down. Very easy. So all the 6 holes are punched out, so the tray mount should be perfectly aligned with the tape installed, just like that. All 6 prongs went through with ease. One more modification before we put the whole keyboard back together. Lay the PCB flat, and this is PE foam. This can be found on Amazon, your local hardware store. This is basically used for moving fragile items. So what I do with the PE foam is I trace out an outline of the PCB. Draw an outline. So initially we have the outline of the PCB. What I'm also going to do is outline the stabilizers, because we're going to cut them out. And if our measurements are correct, it should cover the PCB. Stabilizers are cut out. I think it's time to assemble the keyboard back together. Bottom tray, PCB, PE foam. Lastly, the plate. Don't worry, the screws will pierce the PE foam. Everything is assembled. All 6 screws are in, nice and snug. Let's just make sure that the PCB still works. What do you know? It still works. We're good to go. All RGB is on. We just need to put switches and keycaps. So let's do that next. I like tactiles a lot, so we're gonna put the print switches in this board. The PE foam is so thin that the switch can just pierce right through it with no problems whatsoever. Okay, so all the switches are in, print switches. Now we just have to test the keyboard to make sure the switches work. Then we just make sure all of the keys work. Uh-oh, 4, 5. Okay, 4 and 6 don't work. Okay, everything else looks good. Okay, everything works but 4 and 6, which is this key, or these 2 switches are here. So as you can see, the switch is bent right here. All I do is I straighten it out. So until it is super straight, try to put it back, then test out the key. It works. The last thing is we just install keycaps. We got Demon Slayer keycaps. Right. Black keyboard. We have dark theme keycaps. Let's install it. RGB still works fine. Let's turn off the light to show off the RGB. Nice, very nice. Beautiful. Other than that, I think it's time for a typing test.